Give me directions to Taco Bell.
Okay, handing off to Waze.
Here are the search results for Taco Bell.
Greetings, car fanatics. Do you love your Porsche but hate the outdated head unit? In this video, I'm going to show you how to retrofit Android Auto and Apple CarPlay for less than $500. And the great part is you can do this for any Porsche with a touchscreen that doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If you want to do this to your car, take a look at the link in the description below where you can purchase the product. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so let's see what's in the box. Got the instructions over here. Then here's the actual Joy Audio unit. Looks like this one has been quality controlled. This is the main board we're going to be installing here. This is the brains of the operation. You also have all of these cables, and I have to say the harnesses look very high quality. I'm really impressed with the quality so far. So let's go ahead and install this and see what we're working with. Okay, so the first step in the process is to remove the head unit, and to do that we're gonna have to remove these two side pieces over here, and then there should just be a couple of locks that we need to undo, and then the head unit should slide right on out. So we're gonna start by using a T25 to remove this screw over here. That's gonna give us access. Now that we have the cover removed, it's time to remove these two T15 screws that hold in the trim plate. Alright, now that we have the only two screws that hold this trim piece in, there are a few clips, but we should just be able to pull this out, and from what I've seen, it's going to take a little bit of prying. So the bottom came out pretty easily. Let's see if we can get the top up carefully. Alright, so that wasn't too bad at all. It was actually much easier than what it looked like in the videos, and nothing broke. Let's go ahead and move on to the other side. Alright, now we're ready to take out the head unit, and it has two little locks on each side, and I'm using a 5mm Allen wrench, and I'm just going to put it in and turn it a quarter turn counterclockwise. Alright, and if we did it right, the head unit should just pull out. Alright, let's go ahead and remove these wires. Let's take this one off over here. Alright, and now we need to take these cables off. There's a little thing you press right at the tip where my index finger is, and that should allow us to release it. Let's try to do it for this one as well. Alright, and let's get the last one over here. Alright, and there you go. So remember, be careful with these little connectors. Here's the blue one over here. I had to kind of pry it out, but I didn't realize you have these little tabs. So just press that down, and then you can pull it out nice and easy. Alright, so now we're ready to take apart the head unit, and we have a couple of screws over here that we need to remove. Two on this side, two on the back side. We're going to remove the face and pull it out just a little bit, and we're going to open this unit up like a clamshell. So we're going to remove these T8 screws over here. Alright, so to be able to remove the faceplate, we need to pry off a few little tabs over here. There's this one over here, just pry that up a little bit. On the bottom side, you need to pry up each of these. And let's try to do a close-up. So as you can see right here, these little prongs go down into it, so you need to just pry it up. We're going to work our way around, get that side over there, and then with that, we should be able to just remove this part, and you can see there's a little hinge over here that it's going to rotate around, so let's try that. And it's coming off. But you don't want to fully remove it yet, because you can see that there are some cables and stuff like that, and you definitely don't want to mess that up. So now the next thing we need to do is actually open up the clamshell portion like this, and then that's going to allow us to fully remove this front piece and get access to the internals. So we're just going to take our screwdriver and gently pry it up right around here. And when I do that, you can see that it's slowly opening up. So we're just going to pry over there. Alright, so now we're ready to install the chip. So we need to remove these ribbon cables. And let's do that carefully without breaking this. So I've never removed the ribbon cable before. What you do is you just lift this up slightly and then the ribbon cable comes out. So let's keep that here so we remember where it goes. Do the same over here and over here. So our chip is going to go in just like this. So we're going to install these, keep that chip nice and secure. Alright, so now let's remove these 3 T8 screws. Alright, so using a 5mm, I'm going to put that in here, then I'm going to screw it in. And actually, before we place the board, we're going to need to run the power cable. So let me grab that. Alright, so before we install the chip, we actually want to remove this because this is how we're going to run our power cable to the chip. And with this hole, we can just run this in here, like so. Alright, and with the unit open, we have these 3 prongs installed. So that's the platform the chip is going to sit on. And let's go ahead and connect our new ribbon cables. Alright, so now we want to connect our ribbon cables back and stick this guy in over here. I think you just push down. Okay. Got the first ribbon cable in. Let's get the second one in. Alright, these 2 ribbon cables are in. Now let's go ahead and stick our chip in. Before we do that, just grab the power cable here and pull it in. Now, according to the instructions, it's really important that you connect this the right way. The red should line up with the L and the black should be with the S, and that's the correct direction. Let's go ahead and just stick that in. Let's go ahead and route these things through. And we can reinstall the board over here. Just take your original screws and screw them in. And now let's start reconnecting the ribbon cables. So I guess what this board does is it hijacks the signals. That way it can display Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Alright, and some people advise to zip tie this cord, that way there's no chance of it coming off. So what I'm going to do here is put a zip tie through. Alright, that is nice and secure. Well, I have to say, this installation is not too bad at all. So let's just put everything back together. Alright, so now we're going to set up this Joy Auto device. This needs to be connected next, and I'll try to simplify the instructions based on my understanding, and we'll see if this works. First, we're going to take the Wi-Fi antenna, screw that one in, and then we got to orient ourselves. So this is the power cable that comes out of the board in the computer. That's going to plug into this right here and connect into that. Alright, so now we're going to connect the power cable, which is this one right here. It goes into it there. And then where does this guy go? This guy plugs into this harness over here, and then we're actually going to install this one in the car. These ports over here are for the backup camera. So you can always connect either an aftermarket camera, or if your car has the factory one, you can plug it in here. We don't have one set up, so we're just going to leave these as blank. We also want to connect our USB cord here. So this is going to allow you to plug in your phone. This one's just going to go into here, and then you can run this wherever you want. I'm going to probably run this to the glove box. Alright guys, so we're almost ready to install the wire harness. We need to take off these 2 fiber optic cables right here. So in my case, I just have one. So I'm just going to press down on this tab. I should be able to just pull it out, like so. Alright. And let's set this one aside, because that's going to need to go into the new harness. We have this fiber optic cable removed. We want to take the OEM harness and we want to plug it into the new harness. Plug it in. Perfect. lock it into place like so. Next, we are going to not put any of this stuff yet because we have some cables we need to run to the box. Now let's go ahead and take this right here. This is our auxiliary out. Plug that in. This other end is going to run to the Joy Audio box. So this is the power cable that's going to connect to the back of the box over here. And then we need to connect the audio out into this so the Joy Audio can process that. Alright, so I figured out how to run the cables. It's going to go through all the way this top portion up there, right there. So that's where you're going to run the cables, and it's going to come down to the footwell all the way on this side. And that's going to allow you to connect everything to the Joy Audio. Alright, so where we're at now, this is the cord coming out of the back of the head unit. This is the LCD out. Then you're just going to pass it through all of that place as well. And then now let's go into the footwell and connect up the Joy Audio unit. So let's grab all of our wires, pull them down here. Okay, so we have the screen connected, the power cable, and then our microphone plugs in here. That way we have voice commands, and we'll figure out how to wire this later. Alright guys, so we got pretty much everything connected to the Joy Audio. Gonna do a test run here before we fit everything at the end. So let me just try to make some type of clean arrangement out of everything here. So pull some of these wires through. We have to reconnect this fiber optic and transfer it over to the new harness. So that's just gonna go in right here. Push it in like so, like that. Should click in, perfect. And let's go ahead and connect everything, because if we've done this right, it should work. Alright, car fanatics, we got the head unit back in and I was able to test it out, and good news, it works. So if I hold this down, this is the standard screen. So you can see here that it supports CarPlay, Android, and then you have your different settings here. And if you want to go back to your stock head unit, you just hold down the Navi button and it takes you back to the stock unit. But I have the car in a pretty messy state right now. Nothing is put back together, so I'm going to spare you the details, and I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up, and then I'll show you guys how I was able to get this whole setup nice and clean so you can't even tell. Alright, car fanatics, so we have everything put back together. Let me just show you how I routed everything. So I have the Joy Audio unit back there in the corner, and I just have the wires all tucked in this area right there. And then in terms of the power cord, I have the power cord running along this little ridge all the way over there. So I have the Joy unit tapping into the cigarette lighter fuse. I just took out that fuse and I plugged this in. The cigarette lighter fuse is good because it only comes on when you turn the car on. This is important. You don't want to connect the Joy Audio unit to something that always stays on, because then it's just going to be draining your battery and probably will kill it. And that's how you connect it. Alright guys, we have the Joy Audio fully functioning, and we're going to set it up. So it's pretty easy to set it up. You're just going to go to your phone and your Bluetooth device and just going to pair this. Let's connect Joy Audio over here, and let's go ahead and pair. Now it's connecting to Joy Audio, and you can see here that it detected the pixel, and we want to press on that, and it's just taking a second here to load, and that just has to do with the function of, okay, and we got some music here, so that's pretty cool. And if we go back here, let me just pause the music. Alright, and if we go here to the home screen, you can see you have all the different functionality. And surprisingly, for an old touch screen, it works pretty decently. And, you know, you have different apps here, so it's really nice to modernize this head unit. And then you have voice commands, so you can access that by pressing either that button here or pressing the phone button. Give me directions to Taco Bell.
Okay, handing off to Waze.
Here are the search results for Taco Bell.
And there you go. You can see that the voice command works. So everything works beautifully. And I have to say, the sound quality is pretty good, but it did take some tinkering to get decent audio. You're going to have to go to the equalizer setting and make some adjustments here. For me, I had to put everything close to the bottom because at the standard setting where everything was set at the middle, I was just getting some static at certain frequencies. But putting it down here seems to have solved those issues, and I could probably customize this a little bit more to improve the audio quality a bit more. Alright, well there you have it, car fanatics. For about $500, you can modernize your Porsche and give it Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and all while retaining the original look and functionality. How awesome is that? I highly recommend this product. If you're interested in purchasing it, take a look at the description below, where I'll leave a link to ecarguides.com, where you can find it for the best price and get free and fast shipping. Thanks for watching, car fanatics. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Leave me comments or questions below, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you're notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.